Welcome back to Modern Homestead Alaska. Today we are going to use those Azure orders, that stockpile, everything we've been squirreling away to make homemade instant oatmeal packets for my family. Won't you join me? It is so important that we know how to use the things that we're stocking and squirreling away. It's even more important that we're rotating those things through. But with them constantly raising the rates, inflation is going up, everything is becoming more and more astronomical. We need to know how to save a buck for our families, still send everyone out the door with nice, full, warm bellies, and know that we did it good. We did it right. We fed them the most healthy and nutritious way that we could by doing it ourselves. So won't you join me for that? Here we go. Welcome to our vlog. If you're new around here, we're the Milnes family. We just moved to Alaska in July. We're building a modern homestead outside of Wasilla, Alaska. That's my awesome husband, Aaron. I am Jessica, a stay-at-home wife and mom, and our second son, Caleb, decided to come with us, along with our daughter, Cody Ann, and the youngest of our family, Wyatt. We brought our two dogs, Tipper and Daisy, and got a new addition, the Alaska dog, Roberto. All right, well, I know that I have people in other countries that watch the videos, but let's talk instant oatmeal. At least here in the US, it is fairly often a staple in households. Some of the most basics are the fruits and creams, so strawberries and cream, peaches, blueberry, banana, so on. And then the other one is like apples and cinnamon or something like that. But you can make any variation of these instant oatmeals that please your family. The other wild part about it is if you don't use brown sugar, you're a honey only or agave only or a coconut sugar, whatever it is that you use in your household, you can adapt the recipe to fit you. Okay, so I'm gonna show you kind of that basic technique. We'll have two. Some will have a milk powder. You could use a protein powder if this was like a grown-up instant oatmeal you wanted to send out the door, or you have kids that are playing sports, those sort of things. We're just gonna use the Azure's dried milk, and those will be our and cream type of oatmeal packets. And then Aaron doesn't care for those, and he does love himself some instant oatmeal, and so we'll make some without it. We'll add nuts. We're going to do some flax seed. We're gonna do some chia seed. However you wanna do these is totally fine. But what we're gonna do is learn a basic technique. The main thing you have to understand is in those oatmeal packets, you ever open them, they're an instant oatmeal and it almost has no texture to it at all. And I don't buy that kind of oats. I buy the old-fashioned rolled oats for our family. So we're gonna zip up some of those in order to have a better consistency, although it's the same product. Sorry, excuse me, catch my words here. So we're gonna zip up some of that. We're gonna get in here and get going, and I'm gonna walk you through each and every step, and then you are going to adjust it for your family, right? When you start doing this at home. And then the other thing is I'm gonna show you several variations to maybe give you some inspiration of ideas that you might want to use yourself. So let's start here. So I'm gonna get all of my ingredients in bowls, and then I have some measuring cups and spoons here. But the first thing I wanna do, you can hear me over my paper there, is I want to get some oats out of my 2-gallon bucket I keep up here. And then I do have a whole nother 5-gallon bucket of oats. Okay, you see what that did? that just took those big fat oats and just broke them up a little. And what's gonna happen when you heat this up to make your instant oatmeal is this is going to add a thickness to it that it wouldn't otherwise have. So let's get that in a bowl. The next thing I'm gonna zip up is some flax seed. One of my viewers reminded me that you can't actually digest it unless it's been cracked a little bit. And so we're going to crack our flax seed. All right, see? We are going to measure out our flax seed, and then we're gonna add equal amount of chia seeds. So that's 1 cup, call it 2 cups. We are just looking for the extra health benefit for the family by doing this. Otherwise, if this is not something you have in your stock or at your house, leave them out. Let's see what all we have here. All right, I had gotten these Ziplocs from Costco in the big pack. We have our chia and flax seeds mixed. This is milk powder from Azure, that exact milk powder. Cinnamon for those that need cinnamon, a little bit of salt. Brown sugar is our sugar of choice. This is that ground up oatmeal, and then our whole regular rolled oats. Let's first make a plain oatmeal. So we're going to do 1/3 of a cup of the oats, 2 tablespoons of this, 2 teaspoons of the milk powder, 1 to 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. Our family likes it sweet, that's up to you. And a tablespoon, this is a 1/2 tablespoon, so you'll see me do 2, of the chia and flax. Okay, and then a pinch of salt, and by that I do mean just a few granules, and 1/8 of a teaspoon. So I'm just gonna dip it in a little bit of flour because I don't have an 1/8 teaspoon measure. And that is it. That is just a plain Jane oatmeal. I'm gonna move this plain oatmeal into my baggie here. Letter P for plain. And then I have this giant bucket here that I am going to fill with instant oatmeals. So we'll throw a plain one in there. I'm gonna do, let's call it 12 of these, and then I'll bring you right back and we'll start doing some add-ins. All right, we got those first 12 done in a matter of minutes. It is so easy and simple. Now I'm going to show you some variations. Let's go. I got these, they're not freeze-dried, they are dehydrated peaches. I got these from Azure, and I'm just gonna take a couple of them, and I want to dice them into a manageable size. All right, I want my peaches and cream to be very much like a peach pie, something like that, like a crisp. So 1/3 of a cup of the oats, and then these are the crushed oats, 2 tablespoons, 2 teaspoons of the milk, a tablespoon of the flax and the chia, a little bit of cinnamon, because I do like cinnamon with my peaches, pinch of salt again, 2 tablespoons of brown sugar, and then a good pinch, enough, ooh, got it, of the peaches, and then a handful of almonds. And there we have a peach and cream instant oatmeal pack. PNC, peaches and cream. I'm gonna make 12 of these. All right, the next one is going to be a cinnamon, apple, and raisin. We are going to X the cream on this one. So 1/3 plus 2 plus still 2 with the flaxseed and the chia. So it's 1 tablespoon. Some cinnamon, peach, 2 tablespoons. Okay, and for this one, we're gonna do some dried apples. We got these on our last Azure order. If you haven't seen that, I'll put a link in the description box. And let's do a heaping, I think. Let me try and measure so I can give you an idea. Let's do a heaping teaspoon of raisins. You can leave out the raisins if your family prefers dried cranberries or something like that. I like raisins and I have them in my stockpile. And so this is a good way to work through the raisins. So apple cinnamon has no cream. And this will be one of Wyatt's favorites. I could totally add nuts to this. I'm not going to because we're just gonna do it this way for him. But divvy this up or zhuzh it up however you want. So cinnamon, apple, raisin with brown sugar. Okay, we got all of our apple and raisin done. The next one is going to be, these are dried cranberries and almonds. No milk in this one, so a cranberry almond. So how we're gonna do that, let me show you. 1/3 of a cup. 2 tablespoons. 1 tablespoon of chia and flax. Some cinnamon. Pinch of salt. 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. A handful of almonds. And a good amount of cranberries. Cranberry almond. Let's do a dozen of these. And next flavor we're going to do, these are dried cherries. These are dark chocolate chips and walnuts. So I switched off how I was doing this. So I'm just doing it in the bag now. So I just put the 1/3 of a cup in the bag, the 2 tablespoons, the brown sugar, 2 tablespoons of that, the pinch of salt. And I don't want cinnamon for this one. Oh, I do want my flax and my chia. Tablespoon of that. I want some walnuts, just a handful. Walnuts are very strong. And then a few cherries. And then just a few dark chocolate chips. I can't wait to dig into this one. All right, before I make this last oatmeal for today, because look at our bucket. Oh, it's actually heavy. It is so full. So we're gonna do 12 more. I'm gonna preheat my oven to 375. While I have all of this out, I'm going to do a double batch, a big baked oatmeal. We're gonna do pumpkin, and Wyatt is headed out of town. He's going to Barrow, which is furthest north Alaska, small village. Last time the kids were there, like an orange juice is like $12. So Wyatt needs to be able to take breakfast, lunch, snacks, all of those things with him. So doing a baked oatmeal that I can put in some baggies for him is awesome, along with, while it's all out, I might as well make a granola with you. So 375, let's get the oven going and let me show you the last oatmeal we're gonna make today. All right, the final oatmeal is blueberries and cream, which is one of my all-time favorites. So let's go back to the original recipe. In case you forgot or you're just tuning into this one, 1/3 cup of oats, 2 tablespoons of those crushed oats, 2 teaspoons of milk powder, a tablespoon of the flax and the chia seeds mixed. I like some cinnamon with my blueberries. You might not, leave it out if you don't. A couple granules of salt, 2 tablespoons of brown sugar, and a good handful of blueberries. All right, let me get these done while the oven preheats, and we're going to make that baked oatmeal. So I'm going to show you one because it's important that you know how to cook these now that you've made all of them. Now, if you were to make this with, say, quick cook or instant oats, you would do this for a less time. But we don't use those in our house. It's just a texture thing. It's just a texture thing. We prefer the old-fashioned rolled oats. So I'm gonna have to microwave mine for 3 minutes. If you used quick cook or instant oats, you would only do 1 to 2 minutes, but kind of play with it. The other thing is you could boil water. I don't wanna use the propane to just boil a bunch of water, so I've got this microwave safe bowl. I have so much of this stuff out, so I'm gonna make it so that plus this, rest of that, it's gone, the seeds, all right, pretend that you just took this out of the bag, blueberries. All right, to this, just mix it up and put it in a microwave safe dish with 3/4 cup of water, and I'm gonna microwave this on high for 3 minutes. I'll bring you back when it's done. In the time that this microwaves and sets up, I will have that baked oatmeal done, so might as well have myself a little snack once we pop that in the oven. Okay, for the baked oatmeal, 4 cups of oats. To this, we want to add 4 teaspoons. This is pumpkin pie spice. I get this from Azure as well. Baking powder, 2 teaspoons of that. 2 cups of pumpkin. I used what was that milk powder, had gotten like some brown sugar and some other things in it, which is fine. So we're gonna use that instead of actual milk. And then 6 eggs. These came from my chickens. Yes, they're in my pocket. And then we're gonna do 2/3 of a cup of honey. So honey is gonna be our sweetener. Do a little vanilla. A pinch of salt. Okay, a grease 13x9 baking dish. Oh, you know what I wanted to do? I wanted to add, it's okay, we can still do it. I'm gonna add a few tablespoons of this chia and flax. Let's add that nutrition to it. Dark chocolate chip. chips. I would normally do walnuts, but I have these almonds already cut up. There we go. Into a 375-degree oven for 30 to 35 minutes. All right, I just pulled this right straight out of the microwave. Give it a stir. That is so much more hearty than any box instant oatmeal on the planet. It literally, you can tell it tastes homemade. It is so delicious. And in 3 minutes, while your kid is brushing their teeth, they're on their way out, they're running late, whatever the case is. I got these containers, they have like lids for Cody and Aaron and Caleb to take to work with them, and so they're able to just microwave in the bowl at work, rinse it out there, no problem. So look at how much I made. In that amount of time, I made this amount of homemade oatmeal packets. You guys, for what I paid for this, I guarantee you there is no way with these inflation rates and Shrinkgate, right? They're calling it that, Shrinkgate, meaning they're charging you the same price for something, but you're getting less ounces. I mean, my kids will eat 3 and 4 of the individual packages of the instant oatmeals, and there's not very many in the box, and they'll eat 1 of these. It's so filling. You have got to give that a try. We have the baked oatmeal going in. I'm gonna have my snack for a minute, and then when I come back, we'll tidy up a little, but while I have all of this out, I'm going to make some homemade granola. It's windy and rainy a little bit. The weather isn't perfect, and so it's a good day to have the oven running. So join me in just a second. We are going to make some granola, and we'll pull the baked oatmeal out of the oven. All right, get in here. We just got the baked oatmeal out of the oven. We went ahead and cleaned up the kitchen. It's all nice and set, but not overcooked. It smells amazing. A little chocolate on my finger, never hurt anybody. So we're going to do the granola. I cranked down the oven to 300 Fahrenheit, not 375. And while, I'll show you. I have my wood cook stove on really, really low, so I just set this on there to melt the coconut oil. So let's make some granola. All right, let's start the granola. So 8 cups, I could do by this. I don't know if it'll fit. Let's first try it. Okay, fine, good enough. 8 cups of oats and 8 cups of nuts. Sheet pan. We're going to add 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, 1 teaspoon of salt. Okay, we have the coconut oil here. We have 1.5 cups, so about 3/4 of a cup of the coconut oil to each one. And I do like coconut oil for this in the fact that it's a little bit sweet. And then to each one, we want to do 2/3 of a cup of honey. And by doing it in the same as the coconut, the honey just slides right out. 2 tablespoons of vanilla. So that one's out. Have a new vanilla. These two these two granolas are gonna go in a 300-degree oven for 30 to 45 minutes. I'm gonna stir them around every 15 till they're nice, dried out, and crispy. So while that granola is going, I was gonna talk to you for a second. I get some crazy questions or comments on how do I really use that amount of stuff. And I know with everything that is going on that some people are feeling the pressure, the need to have a stock, to use that stock, to know how to do those things. And then they're seeing on the news the shortages and all the different things that go along with it. So then when you see someone like me buy 50 pounds of oatmeal, you wonder to yourself, is she really going to use all that oatmeal? Well, in today's video, this cooking video that you and I did together, I used all of a 2-gallon bucket, and this is all that's left in this 5-gallon bucket that I could barely get the lid on. You helped me pack this up. I packed this one up in March of this year, and this was my oldest bucket of oats. So what that means is all of the oats that I have bought since March of this year, of 2022, this is all that I have left of probably 100 pounds of oats. So I use oats for everything. It's my stabilizer thickener of choice in like meatloaf and anything like that. We eat a ton of it. It's our favorite kind of cookie. Cody makes a lot of no-bake cookies. We use a lot of oatmeal for that. We eat a lot of oats in our house. So I am not hoarding, and I'm not crazy in that I'm just not out buying things that our family isn't eating or using. We really are using all of these oats. So those instant oatmeals, if I were to go to the store and buy a box of instant oatmeal, I kid you not, my kids would have that gone in one breakfast. That is a total waste of money for our family when I can make it myself, and then the kids can dig into it. It's more hearty, it's more healthy. We know exactly what's in there. I got really good locally grown, local meaning US, Canada, sourced ingredients from Azure. I think, other than the cherries I got at Costco, and they're an organic cherry, 99.9% of everything that went into what we did today came from Azure. So I really do use these things. Thank you, those of you that are concerned. I'm hoping to teach you, and that's what I'm doing here. I'm hoping that you're learning along the way how to actually use these things in your everyday life, in your kitchen. I'm also trying to show you, you know, a way that, yes, I'm a stay-at-home mom, but not everyone on here is blessed to be a stay-at-home mom. And being able to grab and go is such a big deal. And if you're a stay-at-home mom that's a homeschool mom, having those grab and go oatmeals when you're going a million different directions, you're being pulled every way, it is amazing to have that done and ready, and the kids could go in there. Maybe you have some that are old enough to put it in the microwave for 3 minutes, no big deal, and you can go and pay attention to other things. So all of these can be helpful, even if you're living alone and single and all of that. It's nice if you sat down at the table, which is normally how I would have done it. I wouldn't have been recording a video. Sit down at the table, create yourself a little system. If you did all the same basic ones and then threw a couple of things in as you went, to give yourself some diversity in flavor and those sort of things, easy peasy. So that's our goal here. We really are using these ingredients. We really are eating them. This isn't a cooking show where we make these things and they get tossed out This is our real food that our family will be enjoying and eating on for the rest of this week. So let me get to the granola and tell you what we're gonna do with that, and then I'll close out. It's golden brown. It's not sticking together. It's perfect. Okay, while the granola cools, because we actually want with whatever sugar's left, the honey I mean, we're going to add what's left of the flax and the chia seeds. We don't need to cook those, and we wouldn't want like the chia to absorb the liquids and get all poopy. While that cools, to one of them, I'm going to do dried fruit. So this is cranberries. Okay, 2, 3 handfuls. We have cherries. And blueberry. We could do raisins. We could do anything we want in our granola. If you did something like chocolate chips or whatever, you need to let it cool completely beforehand. But all this is gonna cool. And I'm gonna bring you back in about 15 minutes and we'll get all this packaged up. Okay, most of this is just going to go in baggies. I would use these snap containers, except for Wyatt would never bring them back to me. So I am gonna do a couple for Erin to have breakfast the next couple of days. Cody will be out of town, so she doesn't need it. So I'm just gonna cut. See, it's like cake. That's what I liken it to. Okay, in my pantry, I have these cereal containers. I have 6 of them actually. And we do different stuff in them, like biscuit mixes and whatnot. But I'm just gonna break up the granola. All right, I have a bunch of cleanup to do, but let's end this for today so that I can get to that. We did the 2 containers. You can see by adding the nuts or the fruit and all the other things, you can extend this further. We have 15 servings of our baked oatmeal. You guys, I was trying to figure out how many of these instant oatmeal packs I did. If you know, leave it in the comment section below. So when you watch the video, figure out 12, exactly 12, times every kind of instant oatmeal is what I have. So thank you, those of you that have stuck around all the way to the end. I greatly, greatly appreciate it. Thank you for sharing some time with me. I hope these things are somewhat helpful. They're a sweet breakfast. They're a delicious, filling, nutritious breakfast for your family, and I hope that you give them a try. I do hope that you are blessed, you find something to be grateful for, and you find a way to incorporate ways of making your life a little bit simpler, and that would be something to be really, really grateful for. I thank you for sharing your time with me. I don't want you to miss anything that happens on our homestead. You can do that by hitting the subscribe button. When you ring the bell, you get notifications, and then you don't actually miss anything that happens around here. I don't know if you know that. So when you give us thumbs up and leave comments, all those things actually help my channel to grow. So I do greatly appreciate those of you that always stay engaged and involved. Thank you so much. And with that, I'll catch you in the next video. I'll see you soon.